Hey everybody, this is Ryan, and welcome to another episode of Diablo Discussions. I am here with Behringer.
Hello!
And so we are playing some Diablo Seasons. We're trying to not trigger the rest of this room at the moment, if you would stop running for 2 seconds. And so we're playing Seasons. This is Season 2 that just came out, so we kind of have new characters. And really, we are not geared for much of anything. I got a handful of legendaries. Behringer has a handful of legendaries, and that's about it. And so we are going to start kind of like a mini-series topic kind of thing. But anyway, it's games that we think define a console. And this is kind of our opinion. It's not necessarily the best game that was on that console, but just kind of when you think of that console, you think of that game or that games. And so we're going to start out with old school PlayStation 1. And Behringer, what do you think of when you think of PlayStation 1?
Well, I think we probably both agree. Final Fantasy VII.
Yes, absolutely. Game was amazing in so many ways. And I think that one of the biggest reasons, at least for me, that it defines like a console is that it was the first game to kind of do what it did. Like, just the whole 3D, like, big world kind of thing going on. Nobody else had really done that on that scale to that point. I mean, that was humongous when they finally did that.
Oh, yeah. And the cinematics, I think we've mentioned that before in a past PlayStation video, that, you know, the cinematics is like the first time that it had ever been ever really accomplished successfully, and you know, the graphics were just absolutely out of this world compared to anything that would have been on like the 64.
Oh yeah.
You know, things like that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you look at it now and it looks they did not hold up well. It looks awful. But at the time, that was absolutely mind-blowing to have, you know, 3D stuff running around in the world, and just the size and the amount of things to do was kind of mind-blowing, actually. Even for games now, it's so much bigger than all these games we see now, and for them to do it back then, of course it was on, I think, 4 discs.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. Like, are there any other games that came out at that time that came in a giant booklet?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think like that kind of like set the standard, and it's like, well, this game only has 2 discs, so you know, it's really not going to stack up. But no, I mean, yeah, that just everything they did. The story was absolutely amazing. Like you said, the cinematics were incredible. There's so many optional things to do. I mean, it just went on and on. You know, you can fight all the different bosses, and there were these huge epic fights, and they had the place where you could gamble and do the races. I mean,
the chocobo races are my favorite. Breeding them, I spent days, if not weeks, breeding the gold chocobo and the black chocobo. You know, like all those stuff.
Yeah, I remember, like, it was a very specific thing you had to do. Like, you know, you had to have this kind of one, and then you had to race him and give him this kind of nut. And, like, I don't know why. I realized this the other day when I was kind of thinking about this topic. Like, for some reason, you had to, like, rank them all the way up. And so I would rank both of them all the way up before I would breed them. And then it was like, wait, why the hell didn't I just do it, and if I didn't get it, just reset the damn game? I mean, it's like, I wasted hours of my life, and it's like, oh, I could just hit reset and just done it over and over again until it worked.
Yeah, that was back when, you know, save files and things like that, actually.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, all of it was absolutely amazing. All the hidden things. Did you use a guide, or were you on your own the whole way?
I was on my own for the first playthrough, but then I went and bought the guide because everyone, like, I had buddies that played it, and we all played it together, and we had completely different, like, experiences. Like, you know, I was all about, like, comboing my magic, or, you know, like, and getting all my spells and using the mimic and using the ×4, and, like, you know, this is my ice character and this is my fire character, and, like, I used all the magic people. Nice. But then, like, my buddies were using, like, Vincent and, was it Sid, and, like, you know, like, Red 13 or whatever, you know, like, using him and, like, swords and See, I'm starting to forget the actual names because you can rename them too, which was totally different. You know, like that was a big thing in the game as well. So
yeah, because they were tricky. Like usually you had to like talk to somebody like 3 times or something, and so it's super easy to miss that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah,
if you're not looking for it. If you don't know it's there.
Well, at the beginning when you're trying to go into the brothel, and so like you're dressing yourself up, and you can like, you know, what perfume do you get? What kind of wig do you get? What's the dress that you get? You know, all that stuff completely changed the outcome of that entire mission.
Yep. Yeah, it was just an amazing game. The scope of it, even like I said, even now the scope of that game is still incredibly impressive. And you know, it makes me sad that Square Enix is where it is, and they haven't been able to recapture anything remotely close to that kind of sense. But that's a whole nother topic that we won't get into today. But yeah, so that's one game that was pretty incredible. Any honorable mentions that you think we should bring up here?
I really like Driver.
Okay.
It was I mean, like, the gameplay was terrible. The actual physics of the game were just stupid, you know. but like bouncing off poles and getting stuck on freeway overpasses and all sorts of weird things like that. But I just for a driving game and of its time, I liked it. The graphics I really liked. Plus, just that kind of a car. I'm a big fan of. I believe it was like an old Challenger or Charger, one of the two.
Yeah,
so, you know. And it just, there wasn't anything else like that, you know. It wasn't like you could choose from Need for Speed and Gran Turismo and all these other ones, you know. It was just, it was like the beginning of the Grand Theft Auto as we know it today, you know, which I really liked.
Definitely. I don't know. It never impressed me that much. It was I remember I never finished it. That's for sure. I don't know. I know a lot of people really love it. I just never felt the connection to it. But I mean, I get what you're saying. It was kind of that first like open world. You know, it gave the illusion of doing a lot of things when really you can just like drive down essentially the same street. You know, just don't look too hard at the buildings kind of thing, and they won't all look.
Yeah.
It's like the cartoons where everything's like the exact same thing. It just repeats the background over and over again. It's like, just don't look too hard. You know, and you'll be happy. Ignorance is bliss. But still a lot of fun. We gotta get this. We gotta get this going. Be ready for it. We
I'm ready for it.
Desperately need gear. We desperately need everything.
We're not doing too bad though. I mean, for our first Torment Rift, I think we're doing pretty well.
For just maybe we won't be horrible. Yeah, I think we're doing okay. All right, and of course, another one that I know you are very fond of is Twisted Metal.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, who's not a fan of that one? I mean, except for you.
I'm not a fan. I just didn't play it that often. But I mean,
now I feel well, 2 was good. The first one and the second one were equally comparable, but I think everything after that, it was all like downhill. But in the first one, just like the idea. It was like Death Race, the movie all over again. The good one with David Carradine and Stallone, not all the new ones that are where they have an actual hand grenade. But it was a big, homage to that, and I loved it. Sweet Tooth with the ice cream truck and Spectre. I was always Spectre. I was the really, really fast guy that could shoot his missiles through walls, because that was really easy. You just launch your missiles through a wall and you run.
You're gonna cheese your friends, of course. That's the way to do it, you know.
Yeah, and it was like, the first one, they really did a good job of making it appear that it was a destructible environment.
They did. They
absolutely did. It wasn't, but they made you feel like it was. The occasional, like, light pole or something, garbage can that you would knock over.
Knocking over garbage cans. Take that, society.
I'm probably going to get 2 and 1 confused, but, like, the multiplayer... all of that was just fantastic. And actually the story, every character had their own story that was actually completely unique. It was Sweet Tooth. Oh man, I'm going to have a hard time remembering him now. Spectre with his ghost story, and then like the Sun Flower Girl, and like they all had their own unique trying to get to Calypso to make their dreams or get their one wish, you know. And it was just for a racing game that was nothing but battle arenas. It was, you know, it actually put time into its story. You know, they did clip art, they did little comics. Like it was all around fun and good.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, because I didn't have it, so I would go over to a friend's house and they would have it, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is the greatest game ever! You go check it out, check it out!" And then they would annihilate me in the first 30 seconds. And so I'm like, "Yeah, guys, this game's cool." You know, and they all knew what they were doing, so they're running around having a good time. So I never got it. Large part because I didn't own it. And so you know, you play multiplayer with your friends, and they just dominate your face the whole time. You know, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, cool, guys.
Well, and that was the way that, you know, I mean, I was usually more of a fair player with my friends and stuff. Like, you know, whoever was the best, you know, got the other players got to choose, you know, who he played, you know, that kind of stuff, and it made it a little easier. Like, you get stuck with Warthog, and everyone else is like Lamborghinis and motorcycles, and you're in this giant Humvee that can barely corner, you know. It's like
whoever's the best gets the broken controller where the X only kind of works.
Exactly. Good times. Yeah, so I could tell hundreds of stories, but without knowing who they are, the stories are not funny. You know, so we'll just say high school shenanigans. We'll go with that.
There you go. No, I mean it was a good game, and it was like it's something that hadn't been done before, and you know it's like now it's not that incredibly unique to do it, but they were the first ones to do it, and that's a really big deal. Like, to be the first ones and to do such a great job with it and really kind of set the tone for how we know games to be today. It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. And they're still going. You know, they're still making games. And I played the PlayStation, was it Twisted Metal Black for the 3, I think. And it was like crazy huge open world battle arenas. Like, they were massive. Like, you could drive for like 15 minutes without seeing anybody. And it didn't have the same feeling. You know, I just didn't get into it as much, you know, and I rented it, so, you know, I didn't obviously put enough money into it to actually, you know, really, I spent $60, so I guess I got to play it for an entire day, you know, entire month or whatever, you know. But it was still good. It still felt like Twisted Metal, but like the driving physics, I was just like I was on an arena or an ice rink, you know, just all over the place. The physics just didn't feel right.
Gotcha.
And surprisingly, in the original one, I felt like the physics were really well done. They put a lot of time and effort into it.
And we actually just hit the end, so just some quick honorable mentions, because I'm sure we didn't mention your favorite game, or maybe we did, whatever. But you're like, oh, I didn't mention this. You know, Metal Gear Solid, of course, was a massive game, and might be. Oh, there's a goblin over there, isn't there? Might be the longest video game running joke, or one of, with, you know, the whole box thing and like no one noticing you in a box. Is that the longest running video game joke? That might be. And just how ridiculous it is that there's a moving box and all of a sudden, you know, yeah, everybody knows the joke. Whatever.
Yeah.
Man,
I was thinking about
this goblin's getting us into some trouble.
I know, we probably. Here, I'll blow some cooldowns here, and we'll. Also, Resident Evil 2, you know, being a big one, and just all around being a big PlayStation franchise in general. And he won't stop.
I know. Now we got some elites over here. He's only like a quarter. He's like 25% health left.
And I'm walled in.
Yeah, he's still trying to get up these stairs.
There.
Just die a little, buddy. Did he die and he didn't drop anything?
Oh, I got a legendary out.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. At least somebody did.
All right, after these guys, let's check our loot. See what we got.
Well, mine won't take very long. I'll tell you that. Cause I got nothing.
All right, let's see what I got.
Yeah, I think I got absolutely nothing. Nothing dropped for me at all. So it's all up to you. You got another one. You got a pretty sweet axe though, so you probably won't use your Monster Hunter sword.
No, and I'm not going to use the bracers either. So nothing.
Shrines will spawn an enemy champion?
Like, I don't think I want that. I don't think I want that to happen.
I mean, it's like a 2% chance for a legendary item drop, but that's about it. I haven't seen that though. That's kind of a unique thing. But anyway, I guess that'll do it for this episode. Any other thing you want to add before we go?
No, I think we're good.
All right, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, everybody. And until next time, see you guys.
Later.